Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Beta and this is A Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to maintain a simplified financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Alrighty, well, hello everyone and happy Friday. I am actually really excited to be at the end of a week. It's been a very busy week in my life. It's been a very busy week in my shop. My in-laws are coming into town today, and so it's just all kinds of like prepping for that. And a little bit, I must confess, turn into a Monica. If you're a Friends fan, I'm sort of like a borderline Monica when it comes to cleaning. I'm not as neurotic as she is, but I definitely like a clean and tidy house. But when company is coming over, I'm like full-blown Monica. So I've been, really fully engaged in that this week. So anyways, today's video is going to be my weekly check-in. And if you're new around here, the weekly check-in is a video where I just go ahead and reconcile all of the non-cash transactions that we have purchased in the last week. So anything that comes from a cash stuffed category and we did not actually spend cash for, I have to reconcile that purchase, make sure the money gets back to the bank, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're new to this entire system of budgeting, I promise you that this is probably the most confusing part, I would say, as far as content is concerned, because unless you get your hands on it, it's something that you really have to watch a few times before it starts to make sense for you. That's how it was for me when we first started zero-based budgeting and cash stuffing. So take heart and just relax and give yourself a little bit of grace. It does take some time to get the nuts and bolts down, and it also takes some time to figure out what system specifically works for you. So my recommendation is always watch quite a few content creators, see who you resonate with the most, and figure out sort of what system makes within zero-based budgeting and cash stuffing, which of those systems makes sense for you. There are some people who do cash stuffing but are completely digital. There are some people like me and my husband where we are part cash, part digital. And I have said this before, if we did not, if I didn't have this YouTube channel, we absolutely would not do cash stuffing. It would be 100% digital. Because I think it makes the most sense as far as just streamlining your finances is concerned, but I also really enjoy the cash stuffing portion of it. Like, I find that tangible money and watching it leave it's sort of like a very effective anti-spending encouragement on my part. So anyways, I am going to just jump into the video. I promise this will eventually start making sense if you're new, and stick around in the meantime and see if you can't figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my budget planner off to the side here. This is where all of my info resides. My husband also keeps a spreadsheet. And this is something where whenever we get some new folks watching the channel, they're always like, I want to see the spreadsheet. I want to see the spreadsheet. His spreadsheet is very, very specific to his brain and how his thinking works. But I will go ahead and leave the spreadsheet of another content creator linked below for you. She is, her Instagram name has slipped out of my brain. I think it's Beckonomics. Either way, she has a fantastic spreadsheet that she sells that is really good for any kind of budgeting system. So I'll go ahead and leave hers linked for you so that you can check that one out. And I don't think it's very pricey, her spreadsheet. So anyways, I'm going to hop into my budget planner here. I don't use a spreadsheet. I'm a paper kind of person. And if you are a paper kind of person, I do sell my budget planner in my Etsy shop, which is always linked below in my description box. I have it broken down by quarters, and I have, just if you're in the market, I have a monthly budgeting overview. So if you're like me and my husband, where we come up with a plan for the entirety of our income for the month, that's what we do. I have that here, but then I also have paychecks for 5 weeks. So even if a month doesn't have 5 weeks, it doesn't matter. It still comes with 5 weeks in every single month for our paycheck budget. And then something that I really like is my monthly funding plan. I think this is really helpful to kind of see how you plan to fund each category from week to week. So anyways, I will move back here to my expense tracking pages, and I'm going to grab this out. I'm going to zoom you guys in and we will get into the expense tracking. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of forewarning, because I like to try to do that whenever possible, this was a spendy week. So this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than usual. So grab you a cup of something and a little snack and let's hunker down. As Mr. Simple said yesterday when we were kind of going over all of our finances for the week, because we like to check in with each other from a spending standpoint. We have to kind of reconcile this stuff with each other. We do it about twice a week. 2 to 3 times is more ideal. We used to do it much more frequently when we first started cash budgeting and cash stuffing. So that is my recommendation to you as well. If you're new to this entire system, just check in with your finances every day, every other day, just to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. But anyways, when we were getting started with this yesterday, Mr. Simple was like, all right, gird your loins, because we had a lot of expenses to go over. So I'm just giving you forewarning. It's all contained on this page, which is nice, but it's still certainly more than last week. If you watched last week's weekly check-in, it was a quick one, which was nice because I had a lot of videos to get up last week. But anyways, I'm rambling as I want to do. So first step, we have a back to school purchase, and I don't even remember at this point what it was for. So Amazon, $8. Oh, I know what it is. So my daughter, evidently I'm going to be chatty today. My daughter, in particular, is one that we are very sensitive about consuming food coloring, which, by the by, this is just going to be a little sidebar. RFK Jr. hosted a bipartisan Senate committee hearing on health in the United States of America, and it was like a 4-hour-long hearing, and I mean, completely bipartisan. There were people who spoke from both sides of the aisle who care very deeply about health in our country and, finding a way of moving forward with that. So I highly recommend seeing it, watching it if you can, catching little clips of it, because it was not given the media attention that it deserves. Shocker. Anyways, they did briefly discuss food coloring, and it was something that especially hit a nerve with me because I have been, very aware of the negative impacts of food coloring on children especially, but on everybody for years and years. And so it was nice to hear it being discussed in the mainstream. That being said, my daughter's school has still not caught on to this. Most schools haven't. They don't really care. And her teachers like to reward her. She has dyslexia, and so she has to go to therapy for that every day. And just in general, the teachers in their school like to reward them with food and snacks and treats and all this kind of stuff. And I'm really trying to encourage them away from that because 1, they're not dogs. 2, words of affirmation go a really long way. And 3, you can also equally pass out stickers or something of similar value to that to reward them for a job well done. It is not necessary to fill them with a sugary treat as a well done, attaboy, attagirl affirmation, but I digress. Anyway, because of my very, very, very strict anti-food coloring stance, I contacted all 3 of the teachers who work with her on a weekly basis and let them know that food coloring options were not welcome and that I am happy to send in food coloring free alternatives for candy if they really feel the need to reward her with a sweet treat. And my daughter came home one day and she was like, Mrs. So-and-so has candy canes in her bin and I love candy canes. And she does love candy canes. She said, but they have food coloring in them. So I scoured Amazon and found some food coloring free candy canes for her. A really good brand if you're looking at switching your kids away from food coloring. Yum Earth is a fantastic brand that makes candy specifically, that is food coloring free, dye free. And then Annie's Organics has a lot of like snack alternatives that do not contain food coloring as well. So they have an alternative to goldfish. They have an alternative for fruit snacks and all that kind of stuff. So really easy switch outs to make in your kids' diets if you're looking to move away from bad ingredients and food coloring. So anyways, I did not think I was going to get on that topic, but it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. I'm very passionate about making sure that our kids are receiving better food resources than we had, and, you know, not poisoning and overburdening our kids' systems with bad foods. So anyways, I will step off of my soapbox with that now, moving right along. Next up, we have it was a very Amazon heavy week as well. I remember what this is. I ordered pinch pleat curtain hooks for the curtains in my bedroom because I didn't have them, and I had been sitting on that for a while and wanting to do it and not doing it. So I finally did it. So the total purchase came to $17.31, and I'm going to be returning $17 to the bank. Next up, more Amazon. This was for some materials for my shop. I can't even remember specifically what I picked up, but I mean, it probably was something, laminating sheets or paper or whatever. So the total was $21.64, and I'm going to be returning $22 to the bank. This is a really good time to tell you guys about the virtual coin jar. So if you are new to my channel here, obviously our purchases usually contain dollars and cents, and typically what Mr. Simple and I do is round up to the next dollar when we are returning money to the bank. As you can see with these first two purchases, we actually rounded down. We do that from time to time, but more often than not, we try to round up, and then my husband tracks the change overage on his spreadsheet, and then we treat it like a little mini slush miscellaneous buffer fund that we will pull from categories of our budget that we would rather spend less in anyway. And so that's kind of how that works for us around here. And so that's what we do. Next up was a Home Depot purchase. In the process of getting our screen doors hung, we had a variety of different, there were a couple of trips that needed to be made in order to pick up some extra supplies. And so this was one of those. The total purchase for this was $41.75. And I'm actually not returning anything to the bank because we had $100 spare for house project sitting in the bank and waiting, just in case something like this happened, and it did. So I won't be returning this money to the bank. So I didn't really even need to mention it here, but it's just something that I was writing it down as he was talking about it. And so that's why it got included. Next up, and this will just kind of set the stage for all of the grocery purchases this week. Because my in-laws are coming into town today, we obviously purchased extra groceries to, for their visit. And so any grocery purchase that's in here is over and above our typical budget. And so we did budget. If you saw my October budget with me, which I'll go ahead and leave linked for you now, we did budget some extra money for grocery money while they're here. So none of the grocery money is being paid back in today's video either, but I do record it just so I have a note of how much overage there was so that we can make sure that we're staying on track within our grocery budget. And so that's why I recorded them. But again, I won't be returning this money either. Next up was a Chick-fil-A purchase, and holy smokes, I think we talked about this in Monday's cash stuffing video. This is just $47.58 is just feeding my children Chick-fil-A. In case you were wondering how expensive it is to eat out and why we make the decision to forego eating out and just buy groceries at home. Because honestly and truly, I can feed my entire family a very nice meal for 2 days for $47.58 rather than one meal for just half of our family for one day. So that expense was absolutely wild to me. Again, I know that my kids eat more than your average kiddos do just because they're bigger than your average kids, but it's still just absolutely ridiculous. And the quality of food is garbage. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Chick-fil-A is just as crappy as Taco Bell, is just as crappy as McDonald's. There is no such thing as good fast food. So if you're on the fence and you're like, oh, I want to feed my kids better, feed them from home. or just get them the freaking McDonald's if they want McDonald's, you know? Like, Chick-fil-A is not any better just because the owner loves Jesus. Like, they're sourcing their chicken in a really bad way. They're cooking their fries in really bad oil. So you may as well just get the McDonald's. It's probably cheaper at this point. So anyways, that was another tangent I did not expect to go on, but the total cost was $47.58. I'm allegedly returning $47 to the bank, but I know I don't have this much in the dine out envelope, so we'll have to accommodate by stuffing it less for the rest of the month, but it's fine. You know, this is something that doesn't even happen as regularly as it used to because I'm such a food Nazi now. So anyways, moving right along. Next up is Amazon. This was actually for my son's Halloween costume because we didn't find one that he liked when we went to Target shopping for them last week. And so because he is like the size of a man, I had to buy an adult size costume. And so it came to $54.11 and I'll be returning $55 to the bank, which is totally fine. We earmarked this money specifically for this reason. And I think we were like slightly under budget with Halloween this year. So that's a good thing too. Next up, this was another run to Home Depot for more like little things for the screen doors. We did get them in. Both of them have been installed. Our back door one required a little bit of extra love and care because our home builder didn't install the proper door jamb. I'm using verbiage here that is very, very like layman's terms because I don't really understand home building either, but apparently the door jamb that we have was not deep enough to accommodate a screen door. So my husband and neighbor had to add additional trim to make the back door deep enough, or the back door jamb deep enough to accommodate our screen door. And we knew this before we purchased our screen door, which is why we had like a little bit of extra money in house project for this express purpose. And so we were waiting for one more piece in order for the project to be complete. But a few of you have asked for pictures of it. So I will definitely make sure to put some, to include some pictures when the entire project is done. I think I've mentioned this before, but our front door is stained like a reddish brown color. And, oh gosh, there's a fly. I want to paint it black. I want to paint it black. And so I got a black screen door, knowing that I was going to be doing that in the future. So, you know, that is something that's like a project that's a little bit further down the line. But for the time being, the screen doors look so, so nice. I'm so, so happy that we did this. And we are actually going to be getting some weather here soon that we'll be able to take advantage of the screen doors, which is even more exciting. So anyways, moving right along. Another Sprouts purchase. They are not my first choice because they are pricier even than Whole Foods. And with Whole Foods, because I have a Prime membership, I can take advantage of sales and stuff. And I have a pretty good science down of like not buying anything from Whole Foods unless there's a Prime discount for it. With a few exceptions, like my daughter's milk, because I can really only get it from Whole Foods and it's cheaper at Whole Foods than at Sprouts, et cetera, et cetera. But Sprouts is closer to my house. So this is why I make the choice to go there. The total purchase was $83.01. We'll be returning $83 to the bank eventually when we reconcile all of our grocery purchases from my in-laws visit. Next up was PayPal. This was actually $10 that I paid for a game, which I know sounds silly, but it's like what I do in my downtime. I'll just like play games mindlessly while I'm decompressing for the day. And this is actually one, I had to spend money on it, but I'm actually getting more money back in return because it's one of the like cashback apps that I use. What's it called? Inbox dollars. I have it linked down below. If you use my referral code, I do get some sort of bonus or whatever. But I think you do too. I'm not really 100% sure with inbox dollars. Anyway, I spent $10. I'll be getting that back and then some. So it was definitely worth it. But initially it has to come out of my spending. And then next up, I'll leave this linked for you guys too. There are a couple of different jewelry sellers who I really like on Etsy because their jewelry isn't terribly expensive. I usually buy the gold filled and it doesn't tarnish. And I really, really like a lot of like simplistic minimalist jewelry, as you can tell. Like I don't even have my wedding ring on. I almost never do. Cause like I take it off so that it doesn't get dirty when I put like lotion or oil on my hands, and then I always forget to put it back on. So anyways, I bought a beautiful little simple gold ring because I really want one for my pointer finger. And so she was having a sale. It was $15.53, and I'll be returning $16 to the bank for that one. And like I said, if you're interested in her Etsy shop, I will leave it linked below. I think I purchased this from Caitlin Minimalist, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I cannot recommend her jewelry enough. I have a couple pieces from her, and I really, really enjoy her stuff. So highly recommend, especially for the price. Next up, we've got a Target purchase, and this one is one that is being split into a couple different categories. The total purchase was $74.78. And of course, we've got a breakdown here. So $65.78 of this was for Halloween. We picked up a couple pieces for my daughter's Halloween costume and then some Halloween candy. We purchased much less this year because we've realized that like our house doesn't get hit up as much because we're sort of at like the back of our neighborhood, which is kind of a bummer. And it's also like, I have noticed you 80s and 90s kids, well, and 70s and 60s too, because Halloween was actually like a legit thing when you guys were coming of age. But I feel like it's different since we were kids. Like you don't see as many people out and about. Halloween used to be like a thing when I was growing up. And I grew up in a low income area where like, it's not like everybody had a ton of money to pass out a ton of candy, but you would walk away from Halloween. Every house participated, and you would walk away from Halloween with like a pillowcase full of candy, because that's what we used to carry around, pillowcases. So it's just not the same as it used to be, I don't think. So anyways, but we did pick up less candy this year than we have in the past because of that. And then we just had a couple grocery items to pick up, and it was $9. So we'll be eventually returning $9 to the bank for that. Next up is a super duper exciting one. I am so excited about this. I've been adding a couple of non-budget related items to my shop, things that just, I feel like speak to me and speak to you guys, because a lot of you are here because we have similar interests or personalities or whatever it may be. And so I picked up something really fun for the Christmas season. I am going to be linking them sooner so that people can actually use them at Christmas time. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it. But, you know, I worked with Vistaprint, who makes my little Post-it pads that I've sold before as well. They're just the company that I use for printing them. So it was a total of $180.96. This is breaking down into a couple of different categories for me, because I also get my little thank you business cards from them. So that's coming from shipping supplies. So that was $35. And then the products that I purchased were $145.96, and I'll be returning $146 to the bank for that one. So do stay tuned. I'm going to be releasing them pretty much as soon as I get them. Just because, like I said, I want you guys to be able to utilize them for Christmas time, because it's something that you would mail out. That will be the only hint that I give. So anyways, moving right along. Oh, but I posted a little short about it, but I uploaded one of my favorite clips from Gilmore Girls, because you guys know I'm a Gilmore Girls fan. One of my favorite clips is the beginning of, I think it's episode 10. It's season 4, when Rory tells Lorelai that the plural for cul-de-sac is cul-de-sac. And then Lorelai goes on this whole bit of like creating plural words out of nothing. So she says like yo instead of yo-yos, and then pans cake instead of pancakes. It's just one of my favorite little quippy things that Lorelai does that's I think is what makes Gilmore Girls so great. Just that super witty conversation kind of stuff that makes you laugh, and it's just one of my favorite parts about the show. So anyway, I made a t-shirt with all of the plurals or the fake plurals from that episode. I'll post a picture of it on the screen. It's available in a bunch of sizes, and it's available in a few colors. And yeah, I thought that those of you who are Gilmore Girls fans would be interested in that one. So anyways, moving right along. Next up, again, more groceries from Whole Foods. The total purchase for this was $166.22. I'll be returning $166 to the bank. This is where I got the vast majority of my meat for my in-laws trip into town, because quite a few of the things that I wanted to make were on sale at Whole Foods this particular day. So I took advantage of that. Next up is a Christmas purchase. So this was from the Gap. Gap was having a really good sale, and they were having 10% cash back in Rakuten. This is another cashback app that I use that I also really like because you get actual cash back. They only pay you once a quarter, which is kind of annoying, but it's also totally fine. My referral link for them is below. I will get a bonus if you use my referral link, just so you know. But I could not walk away. It was like 50% off and then 10% cash back in Rakuten. So it was a great combo. So I got like everybody's Christmas jammies, and including my own. But you know, I always choose what I like anyway. Mr. Simple doesn't mind something like this. I always pass off a list to him of things that I really, really love, and he gets to choose from that. But my Christmas jammies are something that I'm like, I want to pick those out. Plus, these can kind of go for like year round anyway. They're this really beautiful sage green color. And I actually got a pair for my mom too, because green is her favorite color. And I just know that she'll love these super comfy jammies. So, but I literally got like everybody's Christmas jammies in this purchase. So it was $172.80, and I'll be returning $173 to the bank. And I don't really think that's a bad price to pay for Christmas jammies for 5 people. So that's not bad. I don't think it's bad. Anyways. Next up, we've got another Amazon purchase. This was just for a cleaning product. It was $8.93, and I'll be returning $9 to the bank. And then another Amazon purchase. It was $44.13. Let me make sure you guys are still in frame. Yes. And then this broke down. This is the last of it. This broke down into 2 different purchases for my shop. One of them was for shipping supplies for $23, and the other one was for materials for $21.13, and I'll be returning $21 to the bank. So we did it. I hope that you got to enjoy a snack or a good drink while you were watching that. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys back out, and then we will get into the rest of the video. All right, friends, here we go. So what I do first, so that I know how much money I should have sitting over here at the end of the unstuffing portion of the video, I zoom you guys through this, but I add up all of the totals here just so that I know how much money I should expect to have. And then obviously, if I have a deficit in any of the envelopes, I subtract from that baseline number, but it at least gives me something to work with so that I know what I should have at the end. So like I said, I'm gonna zoom you guys through this, but then we'll come back when we have the total. Okay, so, well, this is way off, but it's fine. The total is gonna be $953, so I will make a note of that here. I always put it next to the last purchase. But I do have to really quickly also subtract, let's see. It's actually $953 minus $305. Minus $305. And if there's a discrepancy in any other envelope, we will adjust for that as well. But for the time being, we at least know this is where we're starting from. So let me just go in first, because we do have a lot of high priority sinking funds to pull from. So let's just do that. We've got home maintenance here, and I think that's just this one. Look at that. Yep. Okay. So I'm returning $17 from home maintenance. There we go. Okay. So 10, 15, 16, 17. Whoops. All right. And so that leaves us with $50, $60, $71 in home maintenance. Oops. And we'll put a check mark next to that. Let's check out some other grocery, hers, Halloween, hers. Oh, I guess we didn't have as many high priority as I thought. Household. That's it. $9. But you know what? This gives us change. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me find a 5, So remaining in household, we've got 25, 35, 36, and 37. All right. So then we'll just go in order. We'll go next into low priority sinking funds because I know I have a couple things in here too. Okay, let's start with back to school is in holiday. Oh, you know what? Let me just, because house project, we are not worrying about returning either. So I'll put a check mark with those. Okay. So dine out is the first one. I'm supposed to have 47, or I'm supposed to be returning 47, but I know I don't have it. 1025. So 47 minus 25. That is a $22 deficit, which is actually not that bad. And I'll show you guys how we handle that. So I'm a little bit of a tight squeeze here, but I'm gonna go into my monthly funding plan. So this is how I plan this out. And I'm gonna pop down to dine out. So I've already stuffed at 10 for the month and it was supposed to get an additional 20. I'm just gonna make a note of minus 22 next to dine out. I'm gonna cross out these two purchases, or I'm sorry, these two stuffings. But I also always supplement it with Etsy and YouTube. So that is where the remaining $2 from Dine Out will come from. And that's how we kind of sort that kind of stuff out. It's always super helpful to make notes as you're going along so that you can make sure that you're staying on track with all of your budgeting stuff. And this is just how we do it. So let me go ahead and cross that out. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Okay, so 0 and done. And then let me see, oh, hers. So I'm returning 26 from mine. $25 and 6. Whoops. Whoops, there we go. And then remaining in my spending, I have 20, 30, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and 61. So that's nice. 61. Where did, oh, here we go. So I only put the updated balance on the very last line of whatever it is. Like if I had 3 different purchases, I would only put it on the very last one. There's no need to update the balance on each line there. And I'm looking at, I really want like a really nice, crisp, cotton, white, slightly oversized button-down shirt. I found the perfect one at Gap, and of course they don't have it in my size, which is so annoying. I'm so frustrated. So I'm really hoping I can find it somewhere else, but that's really the only thing on my radar right now as far as like something to spend on, because I'm at the stage now, my birthday is in December, Christmas is in December, so I'm not really buying anything for myself because I have to come up with like gift lists for the people in my life. People don't usually buy me birthday presents, but for my 40th birthday, I'm assuming people will buy me gifts. So I put together a really nice list. This is a nice tip for you actually. Keep a list all year long of like a gift list for yourself, for the people in your life, so that way by the time Christmas rolls around or your birthday rolls around, you sort of have an idea of what to tell people that you want. I mean, money is nice and gift cards are nice, but it's also, if they're anything like me, I love giving gifts. I much prefer giving gifts than cash or gift cards. So it's nice to be able to wrap something up for somebody that you know that they're going to love. And so that's what I do. I keep a list all year long of things that I would like to have, but I wouldn't necessarily buy for myself. And yeah, it makes it really easy for the people in your life around gift giving times. So anyways, moving along from that. So we did the hers purchases, grocery, Christmas, household. Okay, so we can just pop now into holiday sinking funds because that's going to finish up low priority. So now we are in holiday. And first up, we have the school purchase. I know that we are shy in school. Yeah, we only have And actually I have $1. My son went to a dance and he brought me back $1 change too. So I have $4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was supposed to return 8, I think. Yes. So -4, but that's fine. Again, I'll do the same exact thing where I just notate that I need to stuff. And since I've already shown it to you, I'm just going to do it off camera. But I just notate that I'm stuffing at $4 less in our next cash stuffing. So -4. All right. And that does it for that. Let me just go in here. Actually, do you know what would really help me is crossing out the grocery purchases so that I'm not constantly looking at those blank lines and thinking that I have to reconcile that. Okay, I think that covers it. All right, so I know we had Halloween purchases, so we have 55 and, oh, where'd it go? 55 and 66, and that is $121. So 121. Perfect, perfect. All right. And that leaves us with $10, $15, $16, $17, $18, and $19. Listen, any money I can roll over is nice. What did I say? Did I say 19? I think that's what I said. $19. And we'll cross that one out. All right. And then we had a Christmas purchase. So 173 from Christmas. So 150, 70, 5. And I'll just bring back 2. And just double check that. 75. Yep. We are good to go. All right. So remaining in Christmas, we have $2,000 in the bank, but remaining in the envelope here, we've got 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 50, 70, 90, 210, 230, 50, 70, 90, 310, 311, and 312. Okay, so that is going to do it for this. And so now we're just in my business binder up last. So let's tackle this. We'll just do materials first since that's what's right here. So we've got 22, 146, 21, right? 189. In materials, not shipping supplies. 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, no way. 5, 86, 87, 88, 89. Oh, I love it when it works out like that. All right, so I have $10 left in materials. That's all right. It's all right. And then let me just go ahead and put a line through that. I know there was, there we go. I was like, I know there was one more up here. Oh, I missed this grocery expense. Okay. Oh. Just going through and making sure that everything that I already reconciled was tracked. Okay, so then we have, I think, just shipping supplies left. So 35, right? 35 and 23. So that is 58 from shipping supplies. 20, 40, 55, 56, 57, 58. Oh, perfect. 20, 40, 55, 56, 57, 58. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, and so that leaves us with $4 in shipping supplies. I don't anticipate needing to spend much more throughout the rest of the month on business, but we'll see. You never know. What did I just say? $4. I think that's what I said. If I'm wrong, I'll figure it out later. I'm not too worried about that. Alrighty. Okay, so that's gonna do it. So now I just have to check here. So 953 was our starting number, minus 305, minus 22, minus 4. So I should have $622 sitting over here. So let's give it a count and check our math. 1, 2, 53, 50, 70, 90, 410, 430, 50, 70, 90, 510, 520, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75, 85, 95, 600, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Oh my gosh. You never know with this many expenses and this much money, whether it's all going to come together. I'm so happy that it did. Holy smokes. What a good way of finishing the week. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I would love it so much if you would give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Like I've mentioned, we will be enjoying our time with my in-laws this weekend, which also means that I will not be uploading a video on Monday. I'm going to push the cash stuffing video to Wednesday. So it will still go up. It's just going to go up later than usual. But yeah. So until then, I hope you guys have a good one. I look forward to being back here with you, and I hope that you have a lovely weekend. Bye, everyone.